Hello, happy New Year's Eve, everyone. I'm partially wanting to say I'm excited for this new journey and venture, and that's true, but at the same time, I am ready for the journey of 2023 to be over. So both things can be true that we're looking forward to new opportunities, but we're also just done. I'm feeling a bit burnout from this year and from things just being quite overwhelming. So it's been a little much, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. A lot of the people I've talked to are saying generally the same thing, that 2023 was just a really heavy year. I would put it in one of the worst years ever, and I'm very grateful to have found the strength to persevere through the challenges that have been presented to me, and to be able to share a lot of that with you. And I'm excited for how much we're going to share in the new year. So today is going to be a little bit different, but I want to do the normal housekeeping, and then I'll explain what we're going to do today. So as always, if you are in crisis, please make sure that you're reaching out and getting the help that you deserve. I always include the suicide hotlines by country, or the link to the suicide hotlines by country, in the description of my videos, or you can alternatively go to the ER or call a therapist. Make sure that you're getting the help you deserve. I'm not a licensed professional. I am a certified life coach, and I do have my associates in psychology, and I have a lot of lived experience, a lot of life experience. So the advice that I give is mostly based on my experience and the experiences of individuals that I've interacted with a dash of psychology and stuff. So hello, how are you guys doing? Tell me where you're at on this last day of 2023. We're still going to do our good news. Start with that. We're still going to be doing, of course, our wins, our Snap Cup. We still have that $250 goal for the stream today, and I'm probably going to go a little bit longer to give you guys a little bit more time to do that. And I'm very excited that I found a way to share the things that I have been doing. So I will be, from here on out, sharing some of the outreach that I do with those pledges and donations. So make sure you're paying attention to the shorts on the channel in the new year. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of that so you can see firsthand how helpful these pledges and donations are. So you can use the super chat or super sticker function. If you want to make a bigger pledge or donation, please use my PayPal or my Venmo, which are both in the video descriptions, any of the live streams, because YouTube kind of takes a cut. So if you're wanting to make a bigger pledge, please make sure to use that. And I have my email up here, so I can add that to the screen. So we'll be keeping that here. David, can you help Tony with the super chat, super sticker? Because I don't see it here. It's something that's available for you guys specifically. So can you help him with that, please? And thank you. Hello, Rox and Davey. Matthew says, it's been over a year since a favorite artist of mine died, and I've never felt so alone knowing that she's gone. R.I.P. Loretta Lynn. I loved Loretta and Conway growing up, and I understand, obviously, how much losing someone that we look up to so much, that we find strength from, how much that can affect us. For me, it was Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park, so I very much understand that. Tony is struggling with depression. Davey says, I'm drunk, had a few losses this week, but I'm getting there. Well, you know what? Tomorrow starts a new year. It can be a new journey for a lot of us. I know a lot of us have those goals of recovery, sobriety, things like that. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But you are where you are, and that is okay. Wherever you're showing up today, wherever you are when you're showing up today, you showed up, and that's what matters. Happy New Year, Sandman and Virginia. Yes, it's a new chair. This is a Christmas gift. It's a massage chair. It's very cozy. I'm excited to film new stuff in it. So I just got this set up, and I'm pretty stoked about it. Amanda's Army. Oh, thank you, Rox. Thank you for that. So what I want to do today is, every New Year, I reflect on the things, well, every New Year's Eve, I reflect on the things that I've accomplished through the year. And then I reflect on what I want to accomplish in the new year. And a lot of people say, oh man, I want to get in shape. And that's very noble, but there's a reason that most people do not stick with their goals. And I want to help us today figure out, okay, what are we wanting to accomplish? What are we proud of? What were some of our wins? Because we might not be paying attention to them, because 2023 might have just been an absolute dumpster fire for you. So I'm going to be doing this myself, but I'm also going to be offering prompts and stuff so you can do a little bit of planning with me. So I know it's old school, but if you don't mind, if you could just pull out a pen and paper or even just your phone, you can do this on your phone in your notes section. But I've been actually really excited to do this with you. I've always done this alone. It's always been a practice I do alone. And so I'm really excited to share this and to see what you guys come up with. I'll try and keep up with the chat here. Another purpose of the super chat super sticker function is it will highlight your message. It gets kind of crazy, and today I'm going to be writing and stuff and then showing you. So I won't be able to read the chat entirely, but I try really hard to read as many as I can. So with that being said, who's excited? I have some excited energy. I'm feeling much better. Actually, this morning I was having a lot of anxious energy, and I've kind of processed through that. I just needed to vent. Fortunately, I have a partner that's a really good listener and was able to help me get it out and just cry a little bit and cleanse. I needed to flush the system, I think. I'd been kind of on a high, I guess, and I needed to just flush the system because I was freaking out a little bit. Oh, Carrie says it's her first time. Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome. The fog was so thick in my area, I tried to grab it, but I missed. Oh, I needed that. That's awesome. Hello, Aurora. And I'm excited. You're just trying to make me snort. I just know it, and I do sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Spunky says December 31st is always my favorite day of the year. You know, it's interesting because I live by the mantra that we don't need to wait till the new year to reset. As a matter of fact, I have come up with a new thing in 2023 where I kind of try and break my day up into segments. So it's not, well, I screwed up this year, so I'll just keep, going in the same direction till the new year, or this day is a waste. So now I've broken it up into segments. So if my morning just blows, my morning just sucks, that's okay. I still have the afternoon. If that sucks too, well, you know what? I can just kind of reset in the evening. So that has helped me not get into that spiral of, well, I already wasted the day, week, month, year, whatever. It kind of allows me to reset more often. So I like that. Erin, you hush your mouth. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Matthew says, I can't wait for midnight tonight to hit and the new year to start. Sadly, it's going to be the first year I spent without my sister. That can be really hard when we have those transitions without people. It can be very difficult. So I understand, and I hope that we can help you bring some healing and processing energy to that and figure out ways that we can honor her in 2024. Thank you, Tony, our first pledge here of the stream. So I'm just going to put all the pledges here, whether they come in through email or through here. So that way we can keep track of that. So I'm just going to do a real quick win for the community. And I know you guys might not agree with what I'm about to read, and that's okay. All I ask is that you hold space for the fact that I'm excited about it. And I know there's a lot of people here in the community that are going to be excited about it. This is an accepting community. So no matter where you are, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you did, we still love you. So if this isn't something that resonates with you or something that you agree with, please just hold space for my excitement and joy in this and those in the community that might be affected by it. That's all I ask. So the Vatican gives conditional approval to blessings for same-sex couples. And this is huge because according to Vatican observers, they've described this as likely the most concrete pastoral shift on the church's stance toward gay couples in the church's 2,000-year history. So how interesting is that? That right now, at this time in history, for the first time in the 2,000 years existence of the Catholic Church, they are now moving forward with this shift. They're having this massive shift, and I think that's very telling. That we're growing, we're becoming more accepting, and it is conditional. And you know what? I might get a little flack from this from the LGBT community, but I'm kind of okay with that because I feel like I don't know all the details of it, but I feel like sometimes there are compromises, and while I fully support same-sex marriages and whatnot, I understand that they might have certain restrictions for their church, and that's okay. I mean, there's other things you could argue about taxes and blah blah blah, but you know what? I'm just appreciative for this step forward with this social movement and with their beliefs and their stance. So I was very excited for that. If you've ever been out and about, I always get really excited when I see happy gay couples, and I always kind of clap like a goof. As a matter of fact, I have a really good friend that lives up in Pennsylvania. We go to New York, and here I don't see as many out and about. But when you're in New York, they are out in full force. And he will mock me like crazy now that if we see a gay or a lesbian couple, I always kind of secretly got really giddy about it. And now every time if we're together, he'll start clapping like a goofball just to make fun of me. So it's kind of funny. But I like hearing that we're growing. We're growing as a community. We're growing as a world. And even if we disagree, that's okay. We're still evolving, and that's beautiful to me. Rodney says, I'm having trouble with the fireworks tonight. I hate being a downer for all the people who just want to celebrate tonight, but the loud noises bring back memories. FYI, getting shot really sucks. That's actually completely normal. There are a lot of individuals who get triggered by that. I don't like them either for entirely different reasons. Back on 4th of July, I made an affirmation video for individuals, specifically veterans and whatnot, who are struggling with the triggers regarding sounds like that. David, if you could drop the link to that, I would super appreciate it. But yeah, I know that a lot of people struggle with that, and it was something that I wanted to address. So I created that video back in July so that hopefully I can be there for you when I can't physically be there for you, helping you get through that trigger and that trauma. Because I know firsthand how intense triggers can be. They can be absolutely crippling. Hello, Edward. Yin Yang says, oh, I think I missed a message somewhere. I feel like I missed something, but Yin Yang says, it's messing with me bad with my emotions and mood changes, and it's ruining everything for me. I think I missed part of, oh, there we go. I'm sad and angry at myself because the prednisone is messing with my mood changes and depression. I missed going out for my mom's birthday, and now I'm home alone when my mom and brother are out for the fireworks. I would highly suggest talking to your medical professional, to your doctor about that, because if certain medications are inhibiting your ability to function in your day-to-day life or to enjoy things, and that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And you have every right to stand up for yourself when it comes to medications, because I was put on antidepressants many times, and the side effects were just so brutal that I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't function. And I told them, I can't do this. I need a different approach. And in many cases, they'd fight me and say, we just need to give it longer. And no, you're not hearing me. I cannot continue taking this medication, so we need to figure out something else. So by all means, stand up for yourself and tell your doctor what it is you're feeling and what it is you're experiencing and what this is taking away from you. And while, yes, you do need to give medications time to fully work, if they're making it to where you can't function in your day-to-day life, that's a problem, and that needs to be addressed. I don't agree with the whole, well, just wait it out. I don't agree with that mindset. I agree with waiting it out if it's just, mild discomfort, or if it's causing some nausea or something like that. I can understand, let's just give it some time. But if it's taking away from your life, there needs to be a conversation surrounding that. Thank you, David, for posting that. Yes, Tony actually had sent me a website, and I'll put this in the comment section. I'll pin this in the comment section of the chat here for everyone later, or if you're wanting to check this out. But it's, I hope I say this wrong, Tilvahala, and they have shirts and stuff that raise awareness and raise money for veterans who are in need, who are struggling, who have PTSD. I saw some of the designs, they're pretty darn cute. So like I said, I will link that so you can check that out and show your support to our brothers and sisters. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad that I pronounced that correctly. But yes, I think any help we can get, any awareness that we can have for the challenges for those that have sacrificed for us is amazing. Randy McIntyre says, for the first time, I kept my New Year's resolution. I called the crisis line every time I needed to and made it through the year without a suicide attempt. I haven't started my wins yet or my snaps, but I'm going to give you some pre-snaps for that because that's a big win. So I want, like I said, to dive into this journaling experience. I'm going to do this with you guys. I've never done this before, but I'm going to kind of give you guys some prompts and talk through it. So if you're a little bit late to the party, I'm going to use my journal. Like I said, you can use your phone. You can grab pen, paper, and do it old school like me. But we're going to start. I'm just going to kind of make a list, but I'm also going to give you some prompts, and then I'm going to talk about my list as we go. So I'm going to start with 2023. You know what? We're going to do purple for 2023 and then pink for 2024 because 2024 is going to be fabulous. Now I just have the gay energy going on, guys. Okay, so 2023. And this is the reason I want to do this is because I'm not going to lie, overall, I've strongly disliked this year. Like I said, it's been one of the most challenging of my entire life, and that's saying something for everything I've been through. And I want to reflect on the things that I overcame and things like that. So, like I said, while I'm making a list, some of the things that I think you guys can reflect on right now if you're wanting to journal with me or you're wanting to write this down and do this later. Maybe consider something you did this year that you're proud of. So we just got a really good example here, calling the suicide hotline when you were struggling and going a year without an attempt. Maybe you had a week of sobriety. Maybe you were able to talk yourself down from a panic attack. Maybe you experienced something really amazing or really beautiful, or you finally got to go do something that you'd been wanting to do. So let's just write down some of the things that we got to do in 2023, or some of the things that we're proud of, some of the things that we accomplished, some of our wins. So we're going to have kind of a little pre-win thing here. But I want you guys to write this down so you can see it later too. So it's not just for the chat. I'll try and catch some here in the chat, but let's try and write some down. So a big one for me that I'm going to write down is I finally got to set my parents free. I finally got to spread their ashes and set them free and let them be together. And I got to do it with Eric Bischoff, which was pretty cool. So I'm going to put set my parents free. That was a big win for me. That was something that I'd set out to accomplish a long time ago. And I finally got to do it. So set my parents free. And here is one that you guys, if you've been following the channel for a while, I made a goal back in the beginning of 2023 that I wanted to go an entire year without drinking. And I was very disappointed in myself at the time because I made it from just before New Year's last year to April. And then I ended up falling off the wagon and I started drinking again. And at first it wasn't particularly heavy, and then it kind of went in and out of being heavy. And I have moved back into deciding that that it's not serving me, because the mindset I got in was, okay, well, I'm just going to have a glass of wine with dinner. But then I started turning to it whenever I was struggling. And I'm the type of person that right now, I'm not at a place right now where I can have just a glass. Maybe one day I will be at that place, but I'm not at that place right now. So I did not meet that 2023 goal, but I got 4 months. I got 4 months alcohol free. So even though I didn't meet my goal, I'm still going to write down 4 months alcohol free. And then here in a minute, we can reflect a little bit, and I'll help you guys reflect on kind of resetting goals, or sometimes having the same goal year to year. It's okay. And then how we can get there. So 4 months alcohol free. I really wish I would have brought water up here. I have not been able to get my house today at a good temperature. It's just either I'm warm and I'm parched or I'm freezing to death and there's no in between. Alrighty, so I'm thinking of this. I'm thinking of this in real time. So I'm getting to reflect with you guys, and you can see that sometimes it's going to be a little bit challenging to think of things. But oh, we just hit 60,000 here in the community, so we gained over 10,000 subscribers this year. I kind of scaled back a little bit. So while I want to see this explosion of growth, I scaled back in creating content. So you know what? That's completely on me and I'm okay with that. We got 60,000. So there are 60,000 of us here in this community that are sharing our stories and our challenges and our wins. And I love it. P.S. I expect to see emails and Instagram messages with what you're writing right now, or if you write it later, what you write later. Which, by the way, I put this over in the community, but this coming year, once a month, I'm going to choose someone at random from Instagram to do a song reaction for. So I'm building my Instagram back up. It got deleted because Instagram didn't like my mental health content and I didn't know exactly how to hashtag. That is the most disgusting sentence I've said all day. I didn't know how to hashtag. I can't believe that ever became a sentence, but my account got deleted. I'm trying to build up my community again over there. I post a lot of mental health tips and just some motivation and just some validation, things like that. But if you follow me on there and you message me with a song request, I'm going to choose one a month from my Instagram followers to do, just like I said, selecting at random. So at Mental Amanda over on Instagram, make sure you come over and follow me. I also check my messages there more often than I check my comments here because there's so many comments here, it's hard to get through. And I do that once a week here. On Instagram, I'll check every day or every couple of days. So if you're needing to talk to me, it's more likely that I will see a message there before I see a message here, just to let you know. Tetrarch Jeff Unstable Freak. That is the greatest YouTube name ever. It says, Happy New Year. I hope to work more on my mental health by exercising more, working on my goals, and traveling when possible. We're going to talk about all those things here in a minute. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. All right. So what else did I know that there was a lot and I was thinking about a whole lot, but now that I'm sitting down thinking, okay, I got my associate's, potatoes. So associate's degree, which, yay! I got my associate's degree. I got my entire associate's degree in, I think I got in April for 7 months. No, 8 months. I got my associate's degree in 8 months. So associate's degree in psychology. That was a big goal for me. And these don't all have to, these are kind of big right now because I'm reflecting back on the bigger things, but I'm going to get into the kind of more day-to-day stuff as well. So that's important too. Actually, when I was getting my degree, I have a 4.0. I'm really excited because I just found out that I made the dean's list. So that was pretty exciting. I just found that out this morning. But a win that I had, and this is kind of a two-parter, but it's something that I'm super proud of, honestly, because I was faced with a challenge, and instead of saying, I can't do this, I did it anyway. So I am not good at math at all. It's just not my strong suit, and I know I could improve, and I am improving, but it's just not my strongest subject. And I found myself in statistics. I had to take a statistics class this year, and I had not been in a math class since high school, which was many, many moons ago. And honestly, I really had no business being in that class. I went into that class, I left the class crying because I didn't even know, I couldn't even remember kind of some of the basic math stuff that I learned in high school, basic algebra and stuff. So I crash course statistics over, or I crash course algebra over the weekend, trigonometry over the weekend to kind of refresh myself so I could go back the next week and at least be caught up, at least be where I was supposed to be. And not only did I get an A in the class, but the teacher ended up talking to me afterwards and saying, I was really concerned after your first day, but I've never seen someone snap back quite like you have. And I will say that I poured hours into that class. Hours that, mind you, I swore up and down, I don't have that kind of time. I don't have time for this. I don't have spare time, because we all say that and it's an excuse. And I went to tutoring twice a week. So I took tutoring right after the class, usually for about an hour, sometimes more. But I was taking tutoring. I was doing the little bonus assignments. I was actually doing the homework when most people were kind of cheating their way through it. And I ended up getting an A in the class. So along with my associate's degree, I'm going to say my A in statistics. But something that I'm super proud of in conjunction with that was there was a day where I had to have like inpatient surgery that morning. It's just kind of a in the doctor's office surgery. And I had to be knocked out. I was coming down with anesthesia. I've been having a lot of medical challenges this year, and this happened to be the day of one of those. And I went to class sick as could be from the anesthesia. I threw up in my poor boyfriend's car, threw up multiple times on the way between A and B, but I knew that if I did not go to that class that day, because it was review for the upcoming exam, I knew that if I didn't go to class that day, there was no way I was going to pass the exam. I needed that review. So I went to class. I did the best I could. I ended up going to throw up in the bathroom multiple times. So I had to leave class, go to the bathroom, throw up, come back, and continue doing my test review and stuff. I am so proud of myself for pushing through that moment instead of saying, oh, well, I was sick that day. I couldn't go because of surgery. So it's just a really bad situation to be in. I couldn't do it. And I could have made that excuse and said I couldn't do it because XYZ. And you know what? It is a valid reason. I was sick, but I didn't want that excuse. I wanted my A in statistics. I wanted to keep my 4.0. I wanted to ace that test, and I did. So I got to kind of write that as a two-parter, but A in stats. And went to class. Like I said, this is probably going to be a longer stream today. I hope that's okay. And let me just be clear that when I was done with the class, I went home and rested. I went home, I took care of myself, I rested, I drank a lot of water. I really just took it easy the rest of the day. So it's not like I was being toxically productive. There's a big difference there. So Tony is saying that he is having these traumatic visions about his brother that he lost, and that he's seeing that everywhere. And that's a normal thing when we've experienced something very traumatic. We've seen something very traumatic. Reliving that over and over and over is our brain's way of trying to process it. And it's something that, for me, there's several things that I had to seek therapy for to get through that. And there's several things that I had to do exposure therapy for to get through that. And only you know what's best for you, how to address that. But it is completely normal. I just want to let you know that it's totally normal to have a response like that to trauma. It's our brain's way of trying to process it. If I'm afraid of something or I'm upset about something, I have to continuously talk about it. I have to continuously go through it, like relive it until I can be okay with it. And that is so painful. It hurts. It hurts like hell when you're reliving something that was awful. You know, you're reliving this terrible thing over and over and over, but eventually your brain starts making sense of it and your brain starts accepting it. And that's something that you might have to do with a mental health professional. It might not be something you can just do with a friend. It might not be something you can just journal about. It might be something you have to do with a professional that can help you work through that trauma. Edward says to David, math loves everyone equally. Oh gosh. Okay, let's see. What else was there in 2023? I mean, I feel I just have to acknowledge, and I haven't kept count, but I just have to acknowledge all the people here that this community has touched or helped or empowered to make positive decisions. That's a huge thing in 2023, and I can't really quantify it, but just all of the people that we've reached, that we've touched, that have emailed me or left comments here saying, hey, not even just me, not even just my videos and my content, but here in the community, that I've gotten messages saying, hey, you know, David was talking to me on chat and it really helped me through a bad day, or hey, Edward had given me this advice, or hey, you know, Rick James really built me up because I was really struggling with my PTSD. Is Rick in here today? I haven't seen Rick in a couple weeks. I hope he's doing okay. But Rick is another soldier here, or another veteran here that when he came into the community was really struggling with nightmares and PTSD and stuff, and now comes in frequently just to help others who are struggling with that. So if you want, Tony, I can actually connect you. And Rick, he gave me his email and permission to do that. I can connect you and Rick. I can also connect you with Lee if you want to look in the description of my live streams. You'll find the email for Lee Huff, and he also is great at helping veterans. He loves to brag about this. He has a 100% success rate with helping veterans who are struggling with PTSD, even having suicidal ideation. So he is definitely a great resource to reach out to. Holy shit! I'm sorry. Oh my god, Mick, thank you. Here you have me getting censored on YouTube, but thank you so much. That makes me hopeful that we'll hit our goal today, that we're going to start 2024 off on the right foot, helping and serving and loving. Whew, that literally just made my heart jump. I adore you, Mick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm very excited, like I said, for you guys to start seeing the faces of the people we're helping. Because I know it's one thing for me to talk about it, for me to say, oh yeah, we did this and that. But I'm very excited for you to start seeing that. And I finally did find a way to make it work. So keep an eye out for that in the shorts. Okay, let's see. We're definitely going to put, how should I put that? The people the community's helped. So we'll just say people community helped. I'm gonna make a video. I know I should have done this for New Year's if I was wanting to get views and stuff, but that's not really important to me. Most people have all of these goals and intentions for the new year, and then after a couple of weeks or maybe a month or so, they've forgotten about all of it and they didn't know how to stick with it. So I'm going to release a video here in a few weeks that has some of the prompts we talk about today, and that kind of brings people back to that focus, to that energy, so that while right now everybody's posting about, hey, let's set our resolutions and stuff, nobody's really talking about how do we stick with them, what do we do if we fall off the wagon. So I'm going to make a video with some of these with some of these prompts and stuff here in the coming weeks. But as I continue reflecting on this, let's talk a little bit. I'm going to give you those prompts now since we're kind of having a bit of a workshop, powwow, I don't know, reflection time together. But some of the things that we can reflect on as the new year comes, as we're looking back on things we've accomplished or looking at things that we want to accomplish, I think a very important thing to ask is, what can I do to keep the stressors, the overwhelm, the things that happen in 2023? How can I keep that in 2023? How can I keep that from bleeding over? So if it's something major, like you've lost someone, it's how can I start processing this? How can I find ways to honor this person? How can I find ways to not move forward with life? Because I just want to acknowledge, when you lose someone, your life freaking stops. Your life just stops. And it's not about moving on. It's not about trying to move forward. It's trying to figure out how to start again. It's trying to figure out how to create a new life without this person, because you can't go back and you can't have them back. And that is awful. And you have to find a way to start a new life that honors that person, because your life isn't the same. Your old life as you knew it is gone. Like, that life is gone. And no matter how much you want that life back, believe me, I get it so desperately. You want it so, so, so desperately, but you're never going to have that life again. So figuring out, okay, how do I keep these things from tearing me down for a whole nother year? That's one of the biggest regrets I have. When my mom passed in 07, was I let that cripple me for years. I didn't process it. I didn't really grieve properly for a very, very long time. And so I was stuck in this cycle of addiction and destructive behavior and toxic relationships, and suicidal ideation. All of these things were crippling me. They were suffocating me. And it's important that we're figuring out, okay, how can I start to process through these? And this might look like therapy or a grief support group or journaling or writing a letter to that person, or things like that. So if it's a smaller thing, like no stresses are small, and I don't want to say that in a way to downplay it, but if it's, let's see, like to me, I want to say something like, okay, let's say you had a job transition, and that was very stressful for you. How can you prevent those stresses from moving into the new year? How can you prevent that from consuming the next year as well? So how can you kind of get a bit of a clean slate? So saying, you know what, that happened in 2023. I acknowledge it. It was uncomfortable. It was upsetting. But now how can I start moving forward? Because in that case, you can move forward. Or maybe you didn't accomplish something that you wanted to accomplish in 2023, and that stressed you out, or you felt guilty. It's okay, well, how can I leave that stress and that guilt and that upset in 2023? Another big thing to ask. So we're talking, a lot of people say, I want to get in better shape. I want to get healthy. I want to make more money. I want a better job, things like that, which is great. Those are great goals, but they're not actionable. So saying, I want to get in shape, that's not an actionable goal. What does that look like for you? Break that down. Try and reflect on, what would being in shape look like for me? Because it's going to be different for every person. So is it you want to lose weight? Is it you want to feel better mentally? Is that in shape for you? Are you wanting to gain muscles? What does that look like for you? If you're wanting to get a new job, what area do you want a job in? Is there a certain amount you're wanting to make? Things like that. The goals would be, okay, I need to put in this many applications a day, or I need to work on making connections, in that field, but breaking it down into, okay, each day, each week, each month, or each year, what can I be doing? So break it down day to day. If you're wanting to get in better shape, and that translates for you into, I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, what can you do in a day that's going to help you move toward that? Is it figuring out a new breakfast plan? Is it figuring out what time or what kind of, let's just say, what kind of exercise you want to do? Maybe you just want to get up and dance in your PJs for a while before you get started with your day, start your day in that good way. Maybe that works for your routine. Maybe you can add that into your routine, or maybe just go for a walk in the morning. So breaking it down, what can I do today? And then, okay, well, is there something I can do on a week to week basis? So maybe there's a certain class that you want to take, like a certain workout class or something you want to take, or you want to go to the gym on certain days with your buddy. So if you do that on Monday and Thursday, then now you're making a new weekly habit, and that's going to become part of your routine. So breaking it down like that, saying, okay, first, what's my small actionable steps that I can take? Breaking it down into what's the actual actionable goal, and then what steps can I take to get there? There's so many messages here, and I'm trying to look and I'm trying to look in here and pick things out. Sean just says, starting Tuesday, my fiance and I will be looking for a place. I was approved for Nebraska General Assistance. Yay, that's exciting. Oh, wow, Chris has 20 minutes till 2024. So Chris is going to be ringing in the new year. Is there anybody else that is really close to midnight right now? I realize that you guys are probably in different time zones. So how many people are really close? Right now it's 4:30 in the evening or in the late afternoon for me. So I still have a while to go. Bob, I see Bob also said that his mom lost her life to suicide, and that's really causing a struggle. Of course, it's causing a struggle no matter how you lose a parent. When you're close to them like that, when you really care for somebody, as I was saying, your world ends, your life ends. And it's very easy to get stuck in that mindset of what could I have done? Could I have stopped this? Is there something I could have done differently? But at the end of the day, when somebody's at that point, unfortunately, there's oftentimes nothing we can do or say. And that's something I've had to accept being in the position I'm at in this community, in this channel. Unfortunately, we can't always save people. And every time I find out that I've lost someone here in the community, even if I never really had any interaction with them, I will break down every single time, because I see that they had so much hope and potential. I'm sure you see that same thing with your mom, that she had hope and life and potential, but they didn't see that and they couldn't see that. And nothing you said could have with a guarantee made them see that. But deep under all of that pain that your mom was feeling, she knew that you loved her and she loved you. And it might have been hard for her to express it. It might have been impossible for her to see it, but it was still there. And she knew that. She knew you cared. I just need people to hear that. I need people to understand that if tomorrow something happened to me, which it won't, but if something happened to me, I don't want anybody in this community to ever sit there and think, well, what could I have done differently? Because if my brain was that hijacked, there's nothing anyone could have done. It wasn't on anyone else to save me. It wasn't on anyone else to pull me out of that. People can lift us up, they can give motivation, they can offer help, but they can't save us in the end. We have to do that. So again, something that really helped me was keeping a memory journal. I actually have a vlog. David, can you drop this? I have a vlog of how I wish that I would have handled losing my mom, or the things that really helped me with my grief. It was on Easter, so it's combined with, it was on Mother's Day, so it's combined with my mom and my baby, but there's a lot of tips in there for grief and handling grief in there. I don't know why I just said in there twice. I feel like I'm kind of rambling. I'm really sorry for that. So let's see, 2023, what else was there? It just seems like this year was so strange. Oh, I got to go to Yellowstone. That was a cool one. Got to go to Yellowstone and see a bear and a bison. Went to Yellowstone. That was pretty awesome. I made a new friend this year. She was in my my research class, and then she ended up being in my most recent psych class. And we had this fun little Christmas event where I invited some friends over and got to feel a little bit of Christmas community, which I haven't felt in a long time. And I kind of just pushed through my bah humbug because I really wanted to feel more positive. And I did hold space for that bah humbug part of myself, but I wanted to have a little sense of community. So I had a Christmas get together. I hosted a Christmas get together, which I'm proud of because that's very difficult for me to host things like that. And I made a new friend. So, Sienna, if you're watching this, it was really amazing to hang out. I hope we can have more memories. So, that's 2 things for 2023. I know I write kind of slow, sorry. So let's think back. We finally got to go to Aaron and I, and my ex actually went to the Saw escape room. So that was pretty huge for us that we got to, number one, set aside societal expectations that we're all supposed to hate each other and blah, blah, blah. We got to overcome that. We got to have a fun experience. I got to see the Chippendales for the first time. So that was pretty amazing, not gonna lie. And got to be horribly, horribly embarrassed at a Penn and Teller show. But I'm gonna say, how do I put that? How do I say that? That I'll just say we all had a healthy and positive experience and did the Saw escape room. And actually watched all the Saw movies. That's gonna be one of mine too, because I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write this, and then we're gonna touch on that. So healthy, happy experience. So with the Saw movies, I know I've said this before, but what it really boiled down to was I needed my own kind of validation, and the more positive light things weren't really doing it for me. So I found, strangely enough, support in John Kramer's life coaching approach, I suppose. It was just really interesting because I had such an aversion to watching those movies. I'd seen the first couple, and I'd had such an aversion to watching them because I don't deal well with gore and things like that. I'm very picky about the horror thriller movies that I watch, because imagery can get stuck in my head and I can ruminate on it. But this year, it just kind of happened to be what my shadow needed, and I was able to watch them and actually find a lot of healing from them. So I got through my discomfort, I watched those movies, and they brought me a lot of healing and validation. So I'm gonna watch all Saw movies except Spiral. I did not have any desire to see that. I watched the kill count over on Dead Meat for it, but had no desire to see that abomination. Oh, Mick's daughter's walking again. That's a huge win for the community. That makes me happy. Dude, it's like a picture from Amanda and the Chip and Dale dance. Actually, you know what I'm gonna put is the Chip and Dale one. So I love getting on stage at things. I got on stage at David Copperfield. I wound up pseudo getting on stage at the Penn and Teller show, not quite how I'd hoped. Like I said, terribly embarrassed in front of everyone by that. But when I was in junior high, I went to one school dance, and my best friend, bless her heart, made fun of me. And ever since then, I will not dance. I cannot dance. I don't dance. I would kind of do little silly dances for you guys, but I just didn't know how to really dance. And I've always felt very self-conscious in the sense that I'm not going to sexy dance for a partner. I don't want to go out dancing. I have a really hard time overcoming this, but I got called on stage. Well, I kind of wooed my way on stage, but I wanted to get on stage. I got them to get me up on stage, and they told me that I had to give a lap dance to this guy who's like a professional dancer. He's a stripper. He's a professional dancer. So to be honest, this was my worst nightmare because I have two people that mean a lot to me, that I care what they think of me in the audience, being my boyfriend and my ex, who's now my friend. So I'm just going to say my friend. So I have my boyfriend and my friend who are both in the audience. I'm super self-conscious. I'm terrified. But you know what I did? I just shrugged and thought, you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. I'm just going to own it. And I ended up giving a Chip and Dale a lap dance. Things that only happened to Amanda. But whether or not you agree with things like Chip and Dale's and shows like that, I overcame a huge insecurity. I said, screw it. I had a good time. I just had fun and rolled with it. And I'm going to put that I faced my fear of dancing. So gave Chip and Dale a dance. And no, that is not going to be on YouTube anytime in the near future. Oh, Chris, hang on. Let me finish writing this and then I'll read your thing. I appreciate you guys so much in supporting the outreach. Faced insecurity. Gosh, it is so warm in here. Why is it so warm in here? Chris, thank you for this pledge. Just wanted to stop in and thank you for all your hard work and effort in helping to combat the mental health stigma. Everything you've been through brought you here today. Your work means more than you'll ever know. Thank you so much. And it just humbles me to know that just me sharing and me talking and me walking this walk with you helps and is effective, because I worry sometimes, am I saying the right things? Am I doing the right things? Are people interested? Do people care? I do know that I kind of have that imposter syndrome going on sometimes. So I really appreciate just knowing that what I'm saying is making a difference, so I can just continue being authentic and not feel like I have to produce a certain type of content or anything. Edward says, did she seriously call a stripper a professional dancer? Yeah, I did, because male and female, that takes a lot of work, a lot of talent. There actually are, what do you call it? Competitions and stuff, like big competitions for that kind of dancing. And while it might not resonate, be it male or female, while it might not resonate with everyone, it definitely takes a lot of skill and a lot of fitness, like a good fitness level, to be able to genuinely, truly do a lot of the things that they do. So whether or not you agree with what they're doing with their lifestyle, I definitely have, I definitely encourage you to at least have respect for them getting up there and taking the time to learn to do these things. I can't dance like that. I don't know many people that can dance like that. So I very much do have an appreciation for it. And I took pole dancing for a while just for fun, for fitness, because it is kind of a fun little workout. And it is so much harder than people think it is. People think, oh, you just go up there and you grind on a pole. That's not at all what pole dancing is. And people think, okay, these guys just get up there with their wishboard abs and they shake around a little bit. That's not at all what male stripping consists of. So I will defend, yes, I'm very much calling them professional dancers. David says, just I'm thinking Chris Farley is an amateur, pretty much, yeah. Chris Foster says I could probably dance like Chippendale, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Let's see, what else has there been in 2023 that I'm trying to think back. I just feel like everything since summer has been so incredibly difficult, or really spring, but summer was the crescendo of this year, and everything just kind of hit that max for me, and I burned out pretty hard. So I'm trying to think back to things earlier in the year, or things during the summer, just little shifts or little wins, things like that. I know I have a lot. It's just trying to think of them on the fly is a bit difficult. Is a bit challenging. Well, actually, I had several major losses, and I look back at the way I reacted when I lost other people in my life, be it my mom or friends, and I completely fell apart. And I will say that I did lean into some things that weren't particularly healthy, like alcohol and stuff. I did give into that a little bit, but I didn't spiral. I didn't go completely out of control. I didn't completely let my life fall apart and give up on everything like I had in the past when I had losses. So even though I had several major losses this year, I think that I handled my grief in a pretty reasonable way and managed to work through that. We got Bryson on a 504 plan for school. Bryson was diagnosed with ADHD, and we got him on a 504 plan to hopefully help. Actually, there's something. Bryson was on the verge of failing one of his classes that he was very excited to get in, but he was just really struggling with. And he ended up going from a D, I believe, to a B in one semester. So he went up 2 letter grades. So we got him the support he needed and helped him bring his grades up. So I'm going to put the 504 plan and grade improvement. I was really proud of that. He got a little marker, and he was super proud of it. And I liked that he was proud of the effort he put into it. Something else that I thought was really awesome was around Christmas. I think I showed it to you guys, but before Christmas, he had made this entire Lego Christmas story depiction. It was really amazing. And I was taken aback by how proud he was of it. It was really cool to see how proud he was of it, but not just of the finished product, but of the effort he put into it. And that's something I've been really focusing on as a mom, is not just saying, I'm proud of your Lego creation or whatever it is. I'm proud of you getting a better grade. It's, I'm really proud that you put in the work. I'm proud of the effort you put forth. I'm proud that you were able to combat your bus. That's what we call his shadow, his bus, that you were able to combat that. Like, how did that feel? And really encouraging him, because if we just say, I'm proud of you that you got a better grade, then that kind of sets the precedent that we're only proud of our kids when they accomplish things, when I'm proud of him for the effort. Even if he would have still had a D in that class, the fact that he put in the effort matters a lot. Tony says, I'm feeling my brother's presence right now and it has me crying like a baby. I bet he's here. Maybe he's here on the stream. What if, Bryson talks about this a lot, and he kind of jokes and says, your loved ones are with you, like all the people that you've lost, your mom and dad and Paris. Paris was my dog, Mirage, my other dog. What if these people are just with you and they're there next to you? I think they're there even when you pee. So sometimes if he sees that I'm going to the bathroom, he'll say hi to Paris for me, or say hi to your mom for me, because they're always watching you even when you pee. And I do think that sometimes when we engage in certain things, we connect to their energy, and that helps us release, that helps us process, that helps us move forward. So I'm glad that I could be able to do that for you. I guess, you know what, we're going to do our wins, and then I'll shift a little bit to 2024. I'll give some more prompts and whatnot on looking toward 2024. And then I'll start writing some of my goals for it and kind of go back if I can think and do more for 2023. But I kind of just wanted to give you guys an idea, and then I will probably post this either in the community or something so you guys can see the finish list after I've had more time to just really sit and reflect, because the easiest time to do this is when you can just sit quietly and look back on the year. And I feel like me just sitting here like this for 15, 20 minutes wouldn't be terribly exciting to watch. So we're going to do the snap cup. We're going to do the wins. Thank you, Erin, for the pledge. Let me put that in there real fast. Edward, make sure to turn up your volume real loud right now. We're going to do the snap cup song. Then we're going to do our wins for the community. So I'll shift to 2024. So snap cup time, gather ye round. Friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. Well, Edward, you could pledge $5 and mute it. That's fine by me. Oh, it's New Year where Chris is. Happy New Year, Chris. Okay, so this one's from Tim. I've, thanks to someone rather wonderful, begun to believe in love again, and it's helping heal, well, a lot of things. And the other day, lost a friend because I reached out, but realized now they weren't a real friend, just a friend when they needed me or needed something. So I didn't really lose anything because it was never real. So big snaps to you for being able to feel love again and reconnect with that, moving through that healing, and being able to see that person for what they were. And it doesn't necessarily make them a bad friend or a bad person. It just means that they weren't what you needed, and the friend that you deserve, that is mutually supportive and whatnot of you. I'm glad that you could see, hey, this person isn't serving me, isn't serving my mental health, and let them go. I just really encourage you to let them go with love. So big snaps to you. Spencer says, my counseling is going good. Snaps for you too. I'll sneak in some extra snaps for you, Spencer. I think her snap got better finally. It's there, Mick, I promise. You try putting on nails and snapping with it. Okay. Jake Smith says, I've reflected on a 2023 that was really good. Going to a Pittsburgh Penguins game back in March. Ooh, thank you for reminding me. I went to my first hockey game this year. Going to Pittsburgh Steelers training camp. Getting to watch major sporting events with Kim. Outside of sports, Kim and I got a new puppy in April. Got some new stuff for my living area. Got to reconnect with an old friend. Got to finally meet Aaron for the mental health live stream, and even met Lori Bischoff during a live stream. There are many things I'm thankful for in 2023, but I hope that 2024 will be just as good, if not better. Well, if I have any say so, I'm going to put so many things on your 2024 list. I'm really, really grateful that I was able to, that the community was able to provide some of those wins for you. Laura is a really amazing person. If you guys missed that live stream, go back and check it out. She has some really great insights that are different than mine. And I like that because it helps people grow and have wisdom from different sources. So snaps to you for being able to go out, enjoy life, have these experiences, reconnect with people, and be here in the stream. And not only connect with us, but share your wisdom with us as well. So big snaps to you for that. And I'm going to add went to my first hockey game to my list. It was on my list for a while. It was on my goal list for a while. I don't know why all of a sudden I have a tickle in my throat. Holy cow. Water. Alrighty. Tony, I know you're in here. Say hello, Tony, if you're still in here. I have not seen my kids in now weeks. I was supposed to have them yesterday through 12/31, and my ex has been unnecessarily difficult in letting me see the kids. So as Scott mentioned, I'm still here and still fighting suicidal ideations, but the bottom line and the win is you're still here and you're still fighting. So those are very big wins. It's totally understandable that you're finding this challenging and that this is weighing heavily on you. That's a completely normal and natural response. And I hope that in 2024, this gets resolved and this legal situation gets worked out so that the kids can have a healthy relationship with their parents. Thank you, Chris. All the best for the new year, and thank you for all you do. We're halfway there, guys. We're halfway to the 250. 9:31, 32. I had to actually literally just count on my fingers right now. That's what 2023 has done to me. Past statistics and can't add 5. Oh, but yes, big snaps to Tony. I know I gave snaps, but those are worth even more snaps. Scott Crosby says, I've had about 6 existential crises this week, but I survived. Yes, you did. I struggle with those sometimes too. That's actually probably my biggest fear is a fear of death. So if I start having that revelation of one day I'm not going to be here, I'll have an existential crisis and panic. So I know how frightening those can be, and I'm very proud of you for getting through them. I do have thank you. Anna Wendy. Hi, Wendy. You want to come help me? You want to come help? Say hi. Thank you. You're welcome. He must have heard me choking to death up here. So yes, I had a lot of existential crises. For the most part now, I don't have those as much anymore. And whenever I have them, I just tell myself, you know what? That's not something I have to deal with right now. It's not something I have to face right now. Here, I'll scoot over and share. I promise. There's enough room for both of us. Yes, there is. There's enough room, I promise. Oh, Nick is saying to make Aaron sing the song. Guys, I think if you pledge a little bit, we might be able to get Aaron back in here to sing the Snap Cup song too. Then we can end on a Snap Cup song. And Edward is going to have the best start to 2024 for us to have sang the song twice in one stream. Edwards says, lived up for the most part, or I guess this is Edward for some reason. This is Edwards, but Edward lived up for the most part to 2 key 2023 goals I set. No excuses, no self-pity, control what I can control, realize and accept curveballs will come my way, and just deal with it to the best of my ability as opposed to wallowing in self-pity like before. You are an absolute boss. So big snaps to you for being able to stick with those things, not make excuses, and accept the curveballs. That's something that can be very challenging, especially when they just smack us in the side of the face. It's very easy to say, well, you know what, I did good for a while and now I'm giving up, or I don't want to do this anymore. We all have it happen, but being able to have the curveball smack us in the side of the face and still just kind of Hulk Hogan our way through it. Like when a lot of you might not have watched wrestling back in the 90s, but Hulk Hogan had this thing where you could be beating the crap out of him and he'd be knocked out and you'd be convinced that he's going to lose the match. And then someone would hit him and he'd just start hulking out. He'd just start raging and then he'd come back and he'd beat the crap out of them and win. But I love that whole, he's getting counted out, where they raise his hand and he's about to fall for the third time. It gets halfway down and then he just starts shaking and he comes back. That's what I like to think of that curveball as, is Hulk Hogan coming back. You're such a good girl. Are you gonna help me? You gonna be my bruiser? You can be my bruiser. You guys need to pledge for some cute outfits for Wendy so she can be the bruiser. I don't think that would be mental health outreach though, and all the pledges go to mental health outreach. So I might have to make you an outfit or two. But my gosh, I'm all just hanging out, chilling like a villain in my chair. I'm probably gonna spend a lot of time in this chair. Ryan says, well, next month will be 1 year I'll be on Amanda's YouTube channel. Happy YouTube anniversary. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm still losing weight and I have no sweets in a long time. Big snaps to you for moving toward that goal, for moving toward that healthiest version of yourself, and for turning away the sweets and being able to have that conviction, to keep moving toward your goal. So big snaps to that. CP368 Production says, I cleaned up a bunch of stuff that had fallen behind a chair in my living room a few months ago. Ooh, I don't even want to look. Well, you can't get behind my couch because it's in the middle of the room, but I feel like if you look behind some things in my house, there's probably a science experiment back there. So that sounds terrifying just reading that. Also vacuumed a bunch of spider webs and the living room rug. The room looks a lot better. Snaps to you for just exiling the little creepy crawlies from your house. No, seriously though, big snaps to you for being able to clean up your space. I found that if my environment is really cluttery, it affects my mental health. So just taking that challenge to clean little areas or to keep things tidy. I have a 1-minute rule in my house that if something takes a minute to do it right then instead of putting it off. So if it's just opening the mail or taking something to the trash or recycling, do it then, don't put it off. Right, Wendy? If it's just kissing Wendy, you can't put that off, can you? No. No. Happy New Year, Ryan. David says, a dear and cherished friend helped me find my inner child. Connecting with our inner child and doing that inner child work is huge. So I'm happy that you were able to do that. David says, she does the saw room, but shivers at the word spiders. You know what? I don't relate to spiders. Spiders don't validate me. And at least, oh my gosh. Fernando isn't in here to torture me with the little spiders. He loves to do that. Okay. Matthew, Azaria, are you still in here? I'm currently working on a new project to make a movie script that deals with a specific subject matter that I've always wanted to cover, the exploration of 1930s to 40s African-American gospel and its impact on the music business. I would be very interested in seeing that. So snaps to you for working toward that project and that script, and hopefully realizing that. Keep us updated on that, because I think I don't really know a lot about African-American gospel, particularly from that time period, but I'd be very interested in knowing more about its impact on the music business, because I think every genre and every period has very much impacted music. So that is fascinating. Awesome. Let's see. Edward says, since you brought up wrestling, I think you're a big Ric Flair fan. Yes. If so, he's on a New Year's show tonight with Tyrus, another wrestler, in case you're interested. Well, thank you for that. David says, my son was watching the movie Arachnophobia. Oh, hell no. I can watch all of the Saws 100 times over before ever watching that. Nope, no thank you. I'm the person that on Harry Potter, when they're in the forest with Aragog and the spiders start. Nope. I always just turn my head, cover my face. You guys saw me on the nightmare reaction. I think it was Nightmare for Avenged Sevenfold where there's the big tarantula. Nope. No, thank you. Mm-mm. Thank you, Tony. We're getting very close. Like I said, we're probably going to have a pretty long stream today. I anticipated probably 2 hours or so. Was I just at 42? Yes. It was at 42, right? So now we're at 52. I swear I can't math today. You guys are all over there laughing, but it's not as bad as the time that I called Paris a country. David will never let me live that down. Thank you so much, Tony. Let's see. Put the water over here so I can continue. I don't know why I erased. I should have just listed them all. I'm watching the email too to make sure that I'm not missing any pledges or anything there. Yes, Spencer, I will keep your mama in my thoughts. Aaron says Saw is very different than what I thought. Is if at least watch the first one, it's really good. Funny thing is Aaron had this huge aversion to Saw because of his own traumas that he had experienced, his own experiences, and was very vehemently opposed to watching it. And we traded it for something. I don't remember what we traded, but he offered to watch it if I watched something. And I, of course, said, "Are you sure?" And he agreed and said yes. And now we were both completely addicted to it. So Spencer says, F that. I can't do scary stuff. I would have nightmares. See, there are certain things that really bother me. Like the movie Smile gave me nightmares for months. And I was so, I could see the increase in my anxiety symptoms during that time. The Ring really messed me up. Stir Echoes really messed me up. I don't deal well with scary movies that are more paranormal or psychological. Like I said, I specifically resonated with Saw because of this character of John Kramer. I can't watch Hostel. I can't watch movies like that. But because I related to John Kramer or Jigsaw, because I related to him, it made it very easy to watch. And in my head, this is the thing people don't understand, is if I see an innocent person being hurt or obviously particularly tortured, then that bothers me. But if in my head they deserve it, or I can at least understand why it got to that point, then it doesn't bother me as much. And in the Saw movies, because of my own experiences with pregnancy loss, with being screwed over by the system, losing my parents because they couldn't get health insurance, and they couldn't get treatment, I completely understand why John became the way he was. He just got screwed over. He lost people that cared about him. He couldn't get the support he needed. And I can completely understand that downfall. It's kind of like watching Breaking Bad and watching Walter's downfall. It's okay. I can completely understand how he got from point A to point B, even if I didn't agree with everything he did, obviously. I can understand it because I know what it's like to need medical treatment, not be able to get it because you can't afford it and you can't afford insurance. Oh God, Aaron. Ugh. Yeah, Aaron said that now I have to read or I have to watch the corresponding Lord of the Rings movies for each of the books he reads. So my Christmas present, one of my Christmas presents to him kind of backfired. So I thought I would love Lord of the Rings when I first tried to watch it because I love fantasy stuff like that. I love that time period or that depicted time period, but I go to sleep every time. It bores me to tears. I'm like, oh my God, stop walking. Just stop filming these people walking across the screen. And I thought it was just me. And what was it? Was it one of the Clerks movies or something where he's depicting exactly that, where he's, oh, look, here's Lord of the Rings, and just walks across the screen. Oh, here's the sequel. And he walks back and he goes, oh, and here's the third one, and walks, tosses the imaginary ring and goes, oh, there's the Lord of the Rings series. I felt so seen. I felt so validated in that moment because oh my God, I felt so bad because I thought I was the only person that just thought, Jesus, we do not need to see this much walking in this movie. Hello, Pastor Dean. Nick says, okay, now I get why you love Dexter. See? Yes. Edward says, just to clarify, you understand the Saw guy, but you don't condone it, I think. Laugh out loud, be safe, Aaron. Of course I don't condone it at all. I don't condone any of John's approaches. Of course I don't condone violence, and I don't condone putting people in situations like that. I'm just saying that I can relate to the psychology and to the experiences that caused him to break, that led him to being Jigsaw. I can totally understand why he wound up there. A lot of the people in the earlier ones were addicts or were people who had engaged in self-harm. The whole point was he felt that these people didn't cherish their life, and he didn't get to experience his because he had a frontal lobe tumor. He had cancer and didn't have long to live, and he'd been screwed over really bad. Of course, I don't agree with even a tough love approach of any kind for trying to treat or work with or coach or whatever you want to call it, people who are struggling, people who find themselves in those situations. I don't believe in a tough love approach. I certainly don't believe in putting people in torture traps. I'm just saying that I understand the psychology, and I understand what led him to be Jigsaw. I understand what led Dexter to be Dexter, even if I don't agree with what Dexter does. I understand what led Walter to be Heisenberg, even if I don't agree with cooking and selling crystal meth. Aaron says, I don't work in insurance or the medical industry, so I think I'm okay. And you're not an addict that's causing terrible things to happen. I can delete Phoenix PD from my speed dial now. Okay, so now I'm going to, if you guys are wanting to follow along, if you're wanting to journal on your own, or if you're wanting to reflect and journal a little bit later, I'm going to go through a few more prompts, and then I'm going to kind of do my list for 2024. But I think a very important thing, so we always have these big goals, right? And I'm going to have big ones too. Don't get me wrong. We all do it. But it's very important to also think, what skills do I want to build in the new year? So maybe this is, I want to be able to get through a panic attack without leaving a situation. Like, I want to get through a social situation. I want to build my resilience for dealing with being in a social situation or going to the grocery or something like that. So instead of focusing just on the big things like I want to lose 50 pounds, like I said, it's very important to remember that you're making your action step, or you're making your steps actionable. So it's not just I want to get healthy. It's I specifically want to run every morning. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to do this or that. That's very important. But also thinking about what skills, what habits, what mindsets do you want to cultivate more of? Holy crap, Nick just had us hit our freaking goal just like that. Look at that. I adore you so much, and I appreciate you so much. I'm so happy that we met our goal. I'm so excited to share with you those things in the new year. I forgot to say, with 2023, look back and think, what lessons did you learn? What lessons did you learn in 2023? So even if everything was an absolute dumpster fire, like it was for many of us, what lessons did you learn? And how can you apply those in the new year? But yeah, thinking of what skills you can cultivate instead of just what external things you can accomplish is really huge. Now, also looking at what coping skills, I mean, an easy way to do this, to have kind of skills to look at, is look back at 2023 and say, what coping skill did I turn to that was helpful? And what coping skill did I turn to that was destructive? Now, what were those in response to? What were these skills in response to can kind of help you pinpoint where you need more focus, right? So when you're looking at big goals for the new year, it's important to think, okay, what is my plan to achieve them? Instead of just saying, I have this goal. I'm just using the lose 50 pounds because it's a pretty common one. Losing weight's a pretty common one, and it's easy to it's easy to quantify. So I'm saying, like, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds, okay, what's your plan for that? Are you going to, make a playlist of videos that give you ideas for new meals? Are you going to sign up for my happiness boost course that has a lot of nutrition and how to find your fitness and how to incorporate that? Are you going to get a book? Are you going to sign up for a jogging group or sign up for, I will argue with a gym membership. Even I struggle to go to the gym. It's a great step, but you have to have a plan how to hold yourself accountable. So whether it's having a workout buddy, whether it is putting that on your calendar and saying, okay, I'm going to go to the gym on these days at this time, and making it really easy to accomplish that. So having your workout shoes right by the door, so it'll be really easy for you to just roll out of bed in your workout clothes, put your shoes on, walk out the door. Make it as easy as humanly possible. I like that, Chris. Chris says, if I can't change the world, at least I can change how to respond to it. But in learning how to respond to things, you will change the world because you're setting an example. So with 2024, something that I really like, a mindset that I really want to cultivate, is I want to get back to having the optimum. Wendy, come here, Wendy. You're click-clacking. Come here, honey. Come here, honey buns. Come here, honey buns. My honey bunches of oats. I totally just lost my train of thought, but that's okay because you're just so cute and I love you so much. Okay, so with 24, that's what I was saying. I miss my default reaction being optimism. So I feel like I've been really jaded in the past few years. So my default reaction has become more, not even pessimistic, just more self-deprecating. And I want to focus on shifting my mindset more toward finding the positives in situations. So it goes beyond gratitude. I do a daily gratitude, and I definitely will continue that because I've been doing it every single day for something like 3 years now, and it's been very helpful to me. But I want to cultivate a more optimistic mindset. So I'm going to cultivate, and my actionable step in that is I'm going to reflect instead of complaining. So whenever I'm faced with a situation that is discouraging to me, unless it's something that I really need to talk about because it's traumatic or something major, I want to reflect and try to find the better part of it, rather than just spiral into this pessimistic mindset. So cultivate, so not text complaining, right? So I suppose the best way to quantify that is to say, whenever I'm having strong emotions about something, to sit with them before sharing them with someone else, unless it's something truly traumatic. Like if somebody passes away or something like that, that's a whole different story. But if it's just, I got a B on my test and that disappointed me, sitting with that before reaching out and text complaining. So I'm gonna quantify that by sitting for at least 30 minutes with something before. So I wanted to start with some of these before we dive into the bigger ones. Oh my gosh. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Rodney says, I had to accept the baby steps are still steps. Keep moving toward your goals. And even if you get a setback, the next step is still forward. Yeah. Even baby steps are still forward movement. It's still one step in the right direction is still forward movement. So something else is I want I want to, I'm going to let, Winnie doesn't like to go downstairs though, so I can't even let her out. She's just being kind of, she's squirming right now. Let's see. One thing that I really want to accomplish is I want to land a deal with a literary agent. And so I'd written a book and I was trying to get it published, and I realized that it's not the right time and not the right market. So instead of just giving up and saying, you know what, I had queried some agents and they just weren't interested right now, instead of saying my work's terrible and I'm never going to get this book deal and making excuses, I said, you know what, I'm going to write another book that I have in mind and work toward that one. So a big thing, I'm going to kind of split this into two, but I want to land a literary agent, and I'm going to do that by writing an hour a day. So committing to writing an hour per day. And yes, you can find the time, even if you think you can't. Believe me, I have an incredibly busy schedule. I will find the time, no excuses. So land literary agent. 1 hour writing per day. Hang on. Just got a text I have to respond to. I apologize. I have doggies here, and their daddy's wanting to make sure he can come get them here soon. So 1 hour writing per day. I want to get my bachelor's degree. So I'll have my bachelor's in forensic psychology and keep my 4.0. So I can do that by scheduling time to study, putting deadlines on my calendar, making sure that I'm on top of the expectations of my classes and that I'm making time to study. So bachelor's degree and 4.0. What are some of your goals? What are the things that you're manifesting for 2024? I want to see here in the chat. A lot of it for me is really about scheduling, because if I don't, then I lose track of my deadlines and stuff. So I have to keep my deadlines written down and whatnot. David says, have you practiced your pose for the profile pic on the back of the book so many times in the mirror? Yeah, probably at least once a week. Oh, Spencer says, get cards paid off. Edward's going to Europe in 2024. Love it. Tony's saying, I'll publish my second book of poetry. I think that that's beautiful, because I know that there's a lot going on right now, but I think you can channel a lot of the things you're going to into your poetry and make it very relatable and validating for people. So that can be a way that you channel the painful situations you're going through right now, is to continue with that. So let's see. I don't know how long I'm going to say 30 days. It's not something I want to do every day. See, this is the problem I had last year, is I said, okay, I'm not going to drink it all in 2024. And by the time April came around, I went, you know what? That wasn't really what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to get from under the thumb of alcohol, right? And it wasn't like I wanted to quit forever. But I did end up turning to it at a time that I wish I wouldn't have. So I want to incorporate working out, and I don't have specific workout goals, but I'd like to work out. You know what? I'm just going to say work out 15 minutes daily. So it doesn't really matter. I know that might not sound like a lot to some people. And some days I'll go do a 30-minute run, and some days I'll go to the gym. But I want to be able to commit to every day doing at least 15 minutes of fitness. So I'm going to say 15 minutes. And I know, just to be clear, that you should be doing 30 at least several times a week for your cardio, for your health, for optimal results. But for me, it's just keeping in the routine and being able to incorporate that and having the mental benefits of consistent exercise. So 15 minutes daily fitness. Wendy, there's a blanket there for you and everything, love bug. Are you sneaking? You're going to have to sing the song if you keep coming in here. If you keep coming in, you're going to have to sing.
You have to donate $500.
Oh my gosh. Someone thinks highly of themselves. Did the Chippendale stage count as 15 minutes of exercise? So I have a list of kind of mental health goals back here that I wanted to accomplish. And one of them was, let's see where it's at. So I can read off a couple of them. One of them was 30 days of no alcohol. And one of them was 14 days of exercise, right? I broke both of those at the Chippendale show because I ended up being up so late. I didn't expect to go to the show, so I didn't expect to be up so late. So I've been working out, and I think that was day 5 or something, and I ended up breaking it. And then I did end up having a drink. I had a couple drinks at that show. And I kind of honestly, it was a big turning point for me because I said I didn't need to have alcohol to make that fun. I didn't need to have alcohol to have a good experience. And I had a conversation actually on Instagram with one of the guys that really just changed my whole perspective on alcohol. It was kind of crazy. I got a life lesson from a Chippendale. It was pretty intense, but it really helped me because I could say, you know what? Okay, reset and look at things differently, which was very helpful. Another thing I want to be able to do in 2024, and this pertains to someone I lost this year. I lost someone that meant a lot to me. Our thing was Queen of the Damned, and I haven't been able to listen to any music or watch it or really even think about it without being really upset and trying to avoid it. And I want to be able to watch the movie. I don't want to avoid it. I want to lean into that and properly grieve this person that I cared about. So watching Queen of the Damned is on my list for 2024. I've seen it many times, but not since that person passed almost a year ago now. So some things, that are goals are just overcoming some of our traumas, or not even overcoming, but learning how to grow in our grief, learning how to process those things, learning how to utilize the things at our disposal, like exposure therapy, to get past certain triggers or to get past certain things. So that's going to be a big one for me. Another big one for me, I still don't know where to put this in 2024. It's been something I wanted to do for a long time. I know Edward will support this decision. So I get a lot of requests here on the channel to do a reaction to System of a Down. And they're actually on the Queen of the Damned soundtrack, but specifically the song Chop Suey. And I cannot hear that song because it was playing when I was raped when I was 16. And it's a huge freaking trauma trigger for me. I want to take my power back. I want to be able to listen to it. I know I'll probably fall apart. I'll probably have a panic attack, but I want to get through it. I don't want to avoid it. You know what? It's going to go on the list. And I might do a reaction to it and not to do an analysis, but just to show you guys that we can, get through our traumas and stuff. We can go back to that place and survive and find strength, find our own strength. We can go back and comfort that version of ourselves. So you were here. It's on the list. And if I do choose to film that experience and put it here on the channel, I just really hope people can understand that it's not so much to do an analysis of it, but for my own cathartic experience, for my own healing. I can be in public. I actually had it happen a few weeks ago where I was in public and it started playing, and I literally just dropped to the ground to cover my ears. I cannot hear that song, so it's on the list. Let's see. Oh, Marie says, can I say thank you to you? I have anxiety and depression, and after watching your videos, I opened up. Well, I'm very happy to be part of your journey, and I'm very proud of you for opening up. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage, and I'm very humbled to be part of that experience, so thank you. Oh, thank you, David, for sharing that on exposure therapy. Chris says, you certainly got exposure therapy watching the Chippendales. I got exposure something. Oh my gosh. Victor says, are you really okay? Sleep token might be one you could look into. I don't think Josh is in here today. Warrior Poet has been recommending sleep tokens. So it's definitely, they're probably definitely a group that I will be looking into soon. Rodney says, my goal for the year is to buy a farm and raise organic beef that's affordable so the people around me can have healthy food options. Well, I very much respect the desire to have healthy food options, and I hope that, I presume by saying organic that you're wanting to raise them humanely and give them a quality of life. So I absolutely have respect for that, because I think it's a much better option than factory farms. So thank you for that. Okay, let's see. So I have that. I think that we can grow this community to 100,000 this year. It's a big goal for me. It's my next big. Why can't I think of the word? It's the next big mark. So I'm gonna put that on here of hitting 100,000 on YouTube. That was a goal I had last year. And I just had to slow down the content I was creating because, like I said, I was burning out. I had a lot of things going on this year. So I think that I can plan better and be able to do this. And I'm wanting to branch out the content and do some different stuff. So hopefully that will help with the burnout. So in doing that, producing more content, but producing a variety of content so I don't burn out. That's my plan. That's how I'm breaking that up. Benchmark, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think. I was trying to think of, so as I said earlier, my Instagram got deleted, and I've been trying to regrow the community over there and bring people back into the community there because it's easier to communicate with people that need to talk. So I'm wanting to rebuild over there, and I'm not sure what goal to set because I have absolutely no idea what the Instagram algorithm's looking like these days. So I have no idea if I'll really be able to effectively grow that to where I would want to be. Ideally, I would want to have it about half the size of the YouTube community. So at the end of the year, I'd like to have it about 50,000 because it makes it a lot easier for when I do, and I will, have my book published. It'll be a lot easier to promote things if I have that community there. It's easier to share little things like that. Not little, it's huge, but you know what I'm saying. It's easier to share things through pictures than video, or through small videos. Alrighty. So I think that I will have more. I will post this, like I said, probably in the community within the next couple of days so you guys can see my finish list. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight, of wisdom, of how I do things, of how I kind of bring the year to an end. And like I said, when you're reflecting back, even if this year was absolutely awful, look for your little wins. Look for the things that you were able to combat, overcome. Look for the moments where you made the right choice. Have grace for yourself in the moments where you could have done better, and use that as a lesson. Look back and say, what lessons did I learn this year? How can I do better if I'm faced with this situation in the future? And then when you're breaking down 2024, don't just say, I want to get in shape. Say, okay, what's that look like? Set a specific goal and then break that down into, okay, well, what can I incorporate into my routine, my habits, my day-to-day life that allows me to move toward that. So if you're wanting to write a book, set aside an hour a day to write a book. If you're wanting to lose weight, commit to working out, even if it's just like I said, for 15 minutes. Commit to working out every day. Commit to quitting soda. That's a huge thing. You don't realize how many calories you drink. If you can give up these sugary drinks and stuff, that's a huge step in the right direction for losing weight. Maybe you want to launch your own YouTube channel. Okay, kind of have an idea of what kind of content do I want to create? How often do I want to create that content? How can I promote this channel and this content, right? So make sure that you're breaking things down. I will see you guys again in the new year. I'm so proud of you all for being here, for making it through into 2024. We're almost there, guys. We're in the last few hours. We're in the home stretch. But just remember, if you do slip up, you don't have to wait to you don't have to wait until a new year. You don't even have to wait to a new day. Have grace for yourself and move in that right direction. In that moment, take a step in the right direction. Say, okay, I did this. How can I do it better right now? Sit down, take a breath. You know what? We got this. We are going to make 2024 the best year ever. We're going to change the mental health world. We're going to change each other's worlds. We're going to fly. We're going to thrive. I love you guys. I believe in you guys. I'm here for you guys, and I'll see you in 2024. I love you so much.